Okay, so I have not gotten around to figuring out what the issue was with the tracking. So we are on PNG time today. And yeah, should be okay all the same. I'm going to quickly check the audio to see how loud it is. I apologize for the double echo. To see how loud it is, I apologize for the double echo. To see how loud it is, I apologize for the double echo. To see how loud it is. Okay, that should stop the endless, and sounds like the music's okay. It's hard to check it without like being live. Anyway, I wish they had like a thing on OBS, or if they do, I'm not familiar with it, but you'd think they would. Anyway, so to those who have been watching these little short series, you might notice that this is not Google Docs anymore. I have decided, since I am trying to get better at coding, to double it up. And while simply putting things out in HTML is hardly air quotes coding material, it really is just a hypertext markup language. It's still, I think, good to be doing it in VSC so that I just keep my head on the format. Alright. I'm gonna quickly make sure I have everything. I'm pretty sure I took everything over, but just to be on the safe side. Okay, check on... Okay, so I have... I'm down to FTL on the void. Oh, I did not, in fact, get everything over. My bad. How did I do this? It was format document. There we go. Wait, there should be a hotkey for that. Format document is Shift Alt F. I'll remember that. Shift Alt F. Okay, so we've got under species humans, and then under that society, military, blah 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 blah. Excuse me while I quickly get this over. And I do apologize. I had thought, for some reason, Shift Alt F. Huh? Oh, that's Control Alt F. Shift Alt F. There we go. And da-da. Do. Oh, yep. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate that. How's your days going, by the way, Kid Ozzy, Justin Norris? Hope everything is good. As I get vaguely irritated with myself for not having this done. From the depths in designer mode, I have been seeing you grinding out that game. You are reminding me that I need to get back into it, frankly. Got finished with my first week of university classes for this semester. Didn't have any classes tomorrow. Been learning a lot and started adventure mode for my Nice! Yeah, no, I'm excited to get back into From the Depths. Finish up the tutorials, get all that done. And always a nice feeling, Justin, to not have classes tomorrow, I would imagine. Hope nothing's up with my microphone. It doesn't feel to be getting quite as loud. I'll be comparing VODs, I think, just to make sure there's no depreciation in audio quality. Okay. So, as y'all can see, unfortunately, at the end of the day, this is somewhat of a meticulous process because every paragraph has to be done manually on a website. Now, obviously, you can create code to, automate this. It's not like web docs, stuff like that work for a reason because, right? Yeah, I agree. I'm sure I'm going to be revisiting the tutorials quite a bit. So like web docs, when you're formatting stuff, they have, coding systems for ensuring that, when you press enter and other stuff, it gets the display all working properly. But it's also something to note, and this is something that was brought to my attention by a publisher, Usurper Kings, I believe is their Twitch handle. If you are self-publishing, you're going to be putting it out, you're not going to be publishing it directly from Word docs, unless you're just, putting it on like Patreon or something where it's like a link, but that's not really publishing it. At the end of the day, you're going to have to go through basically this process. Well, or someone will. Most, it's not like authors typically do this in the coding, but this has to be done to it. It has to be basically scanned into a print setup. And for code aspects, that's, your paragraphs need to be in paragraphs, and then CSS, works with, and etc. It's a whole thing, and it's kind of cool. How that is. And my thought process here was, if I kind of get ahead of the curve for myself and I get used to just writing in hard code in Lua, I won't really have to do much with my self-publishing because it's already here. And I'm already styling it as I go. I don't know how I wrote clear when I meant glass, but that's going to be fun. Copy. And all the ones off that are messed up. Dang. Yep, it started with title 3s and then got messed up from that. Class, class, class. I wonder if I can do this all at once. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure there's a way. I'm just not sure what the way is. I'll have to learn that later. I'm not going to be rummaging around through different formats on stream. Do 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 do. Okay, that's getting a little loud for me, so I'm going to drop that. There we go. Class, class, class. Clear isn't even close to class. What was up with my brain? I'm sometimes worried that I might have like dyslexia or something. Alright. All these are classes. All of my P classes are accurate. Class, 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 class. Okay. It looks like all of those are accurate. My brainstorming will need to be swapped over, but for now, I think it's good for us just to continue, and I will reference this as I read. Okay. What is nice is, in my opinion anyway, VSC just looks kind of cool. Like, it has a good dark screen. Its formatting isn't bad. You know, it's just kind of cool. All right, go down here. Right, I was going over his origin. In time, Sandy was reclaimed and the immortal grief-stricken submitted himself for punishment and execution, proved ineffective and after 67%. Okay, so I wasn't entirely sure on this approach. If I remember right. Let me just read through it again. For Aeteria, horrific event. Thanks to the university studies, expanding knowledge. Bodies aged in day. Yada yada. Oh, I should save doc. It's not gonna auto save after all. Participants were merged, single consciousness, in time. Okay, so in time, Sandy was reclaimed. No, actually, that seems fine. Resume to studies of arcana and biology. Establishing a business of his own that produced quality medicines, elixirs, elixirs. There we go. I did a spell check addendum. Hello, Hexmoser. Welcome back in. How are you doing today? And magical enhancements for the general public. Nope. Alright, I did an experiment because this lo-fi is pretty good, but I think it's just going to work better with it being no music. At least for my focus, and it makes me have to talk more, which is important. How am I? I am doing good today. Not so great this week, but I am doing okay. Particularly today. I think the cycle is starting to let up. Resumed his studies of Arcana, blah, 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 blah. Focusing his efforts primarily on the people during whose imprisonment he had taken upon the name uh hmm the name a turn Aternus Aternus Ater Ater is that society the Atern, yeah, okay, Ater, yeah. And bollocks. No, actually, I'm gonna backtrack that, and I will there. How are you doing, Hexmoser? Wait, no, I already asked that. Sorry. Do. And having experienced prison, poverty, and destitution firsthand, it prioritized the bulk of his company's products to be means of life improvement for the downtrodden. Shift Alt F. Okay. And I should probably copy and paste that for each future one. Save myself a little bit of time. Wonder if I could hotkey common ones to like my mouse or something. Cheap, sometimes low-cost products were regularly found at the Aeteria Emporium as the profit margins were made up by the few exclusive products produced for nobility and royalty across the continent. Shift Alt F. Go to spelling suggestions. Thank you. Exclusive. Ugh. You know, this is working pretty well. Though I'm wondering if I should be writing out my world building like I'm writing out a story, but at the end of the day, writing practice is practice, so I feel like it's not a bad idea. Hopefully. We will see. Ah. Do. Hey, if there is anyone in chat, could they say something? Because I want to check on something for the stream, and I'm just not entirely sure. I think it's okay, given my impression from like what I'm seeing, but I just want to confirm it with someone in chat. So hello, Rylus. I am. Is the font size large enough? Is this uh good good enough to read? Like I know I say it as I write it out, but like, is it too small? Should I try to like make it larger? And how are you doing, Rylus? Oh, you're on your phone. Yeah, no, that would make it small regardless. Hmm. Rylus, would you say the text is large enough? Do I need to make it larger? What would your take be? Loyalty across the continent. Within. Excuse me. The structure of Aeteria's business, particularly as its growth and personnel. Well, that's sorry, I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the situation that two people in chat wouldn't have yeah, that's personnel. The best take, because fair enough. I would like it to be large enough for it to be able to be read by all people, but if I went that extreme for accessibility, it probably like wouldn't really be able to fit on the page well. Expanded exponentially. Under the over of products only. There have the knowledge to make and ship all stuff. Bring it back. Business a unprecedented meritocracy was put in place. Okay. Right. Makes sense. Oh, whoops. Hang on. Okay, I think. Yes, let's go for another paragraph. Wait, I already have. There we go. Oh, I made a problem. Okay, let's try just copying and pasting that. And then we will test. Interesting. Well, in that case, writing it out is faster than dealing with that. So I will just do that. And I will also save. And let's see if just control shifting. No. Control shift. No. Alt. No. Can I? Don't really need that. How do I? Hang on, I need to look up something real quick. Adjusting text size VSE. Look settings. Okay. Just because I'm not entirely sure what's going to show up, I'm going to go into a BRB as I do this. Because I want to make sure it doesn't accidentally give any docs type information. Okay, let's bring this up to there. Enter. Okay. And I'm gonna let me just Huh. Well, either way, it'll work. So I'm gonna bring it back. And then just gonna try to expand it. Yeah, there we go. We'll just do that. Little awkward, but that is larger now, so that should do the trick. And it's not entirely obscured by my model. There we go. All right. So yeah, I'm sorry. This is the first stream using a new system, a little bit more scuffed than usual. I do apologize. Okay. We were down here. On to a new paragraph. Wait, what was I? Society. Right. This does not have... Yeah, this is much more of like an origin story. I'm gonna... How do I want to do this? Okay. So I'm gonna do... Wait, hang on. Let's practice what I believe is the better way when doing something like this. And then I... Nope, that's not how it was. Okay. Leave that there. And I suppose I will cut and there. And I will, with this all commented out, this is more of an origin story for the Aeter. Please find a new home when an appropriate place is available. There. Also, that is what is called a comment, not a commit, which is a different thing. Commit is something you do to send stuff to GitHub, but a comment is basically code that doesn't actually show up. So if this was to go on the website, prior to this comment structure, these would have all been paragraphs under society. But, well, this is all good for, like, the origin story. This isn't really... This should be under, like, main characters under the Aeter. And we'll eventually get to that point. So, like, for society right now, I should be doing something different. So rather than that, I will do society, P, and the reason why all that stuff got uncommented out, which is still kind of weird because I feel like it should have stayed commented regardless, was because it was being included as text, which is why it was being removed, so that, you know, because it was technically within a bracket, this wasn't being considered code, it was being considered text. So that would be why. So as soon as the bracket was closed properly into the paragraph it's supposed to be, the code all resumed back to normal. Yeah, pretty neat. All right, so society. The Dominion. The Aeternian Dominion is a fanatical meritocracy. Also, that's like another really cool thing about VS Code. It's designed to kind of like help you code. So as you use words that are like over time, like if you use them more and more often, it'll start to like, I'll get right onto that as soon as I finish my thought. It'll start to like offer you an autofill. Like, for example, I've used meritocracy a few times. So meritocracy. So that's another reason why I want to practice in VS Code. A, it's a little faster. Well, once you get used to the, you know, paragraph start and stops. And learning how to like quickly get used to tabbing your code prompts is a really big part in my mind for coding. So yeah, like double dipping type stuff. Health check. All right. I will stretch and posture check and drink some water. Stretch. Posture check. Shifting my position. Audio is still good. And water. All right. Thank you for the health check, Justin. Sorry, my brain was first looking at chat, not redemption. Okay. Fanatical. Hello and welcome in, Nyas. Christy. How you doing? Fanatical meritocracy. Quickly save. Nice meow face. You think your TV is a 47-inch? Hmm. Nice, I think. What is that? That's it's about 4 feet. Yeah, big TV. Nice. Okay. From the lowest positions in society to the highest, to the position of high dang. Yeah, no, I have multi-monitors, but like I'd love to one day get to the point where I can have the setup for like a full entrenched entertainment center. Uh I'm not sure if I'll get to the point where I would settle and have a place established enough to warrant going that. I think what's more likely is the resolution on VR machines will reach a point where it just makes more sense to wear the VR headset and have that entertainment station there than it would be to have the entire physical entertainment system. Right now, it's already like kind of there, but I don't care for it because the screen like resolution messes with the saturation and rendering of videos and displays within the virtual um you know setup. So once it gets to the point where it could do that without that issue when it's going over from like say a computer, or if they get powerful enough for standalone, I think that's likely to happen first, if I'm being honest, particularly since I tend to live a pretty light um almost nomadics lifestyle, and my goal would be like one of my ideals would be to be a freelancer or a self-running so that I can work and take my work with me as I travel. It would also be handy for like certain countries because they have like visas for cyber nomads. So yeah, that would kind of be the approach. Um the position of a to the position of I I still haven't decided on what I want to call. The position of what do I want to call it? Hmm. To the position of to what is the leader of a dominion called? Do, 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 do. So, would either be president or governor according to the Google search. Uh, president feels. I mean, it's not, but it tends to come off in fiction as American. So let's go with to the high. High Lord of the Dominion itself. From the least responsible and specialized to the high, hang on, there we go. All have the right to climb the ranks of society through a trial of skill within their field of choice. Shift Alt F. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. There are requirements that must be met to initiate a trial, of course, but certifications on any level of expertise and field are available to attempts free of charge for citizens, as well as the less material to learn. Shift Alt F. In this manner, while a limited basic education is mandated, all forms of higher education remain subsidized by the government and a populace. All have the means to quickly improve and elevate themselves. So the best are in positions. So the best are where they. So the best work where they belong. Shift Alt F. And spelling suggestions. Higher. New paragraph. Whoops. Man. I wish that I was not always so fatigued. Out of curiosity, what would you guys say in chat? What do you all think about like VR? I think it's really cool. I think it's got a lot of potential. I'd like to see it expand. I hope that they don't try to go like Neuralink. I know that the technology is already in place to an extent. Like they're experimenting with it. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I don't think that it's like. Okay, why is sapient a thing? Yeah, I'm just gonna add to settings. I've never actually seen Ready Player One. Hopefully. Why does it say words? And spelling and words. Eternian. Aeterian? Eternian. Aeterian. Let's go with Aeterian. I actually think that comes off. And Aeterian. There we go. Oh, you have not experienced VR? Fair enough. It is still pretty pricey. I think Aeteria. United? Yeah, let's go with that. No, let's go Aeteria under threats. Yes. And add word on Aeteria. Spelling suggestions for world building would just be to add it. World building is a word. I know it is. Bollocks. Spelling add. Okay. Sorry. I have like a little OCD when it comes to like this is incorrectly spelled in your format type thing. Okay, so I was down here. Blah, blah, blah. There are two. They're universal currency of Aeteria is crystallized power. Spelling suggestion. Crystal. Oh, it's double L. Silly me. Crystallized electricity. Crystallized power. This comes in the form of crystal electricity or crystal electricity shards or mana shards. Oh, you found it? Nice, nice. Do, 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 do. Yes, okay. I do think looking over at the screen with it that it is a much better size now. I will keep it at 18 font. For future streams, and I apologize for the lack of testing. In 2045, people seek to escape from reality through the Oasis, ontologically anthropocentric sensory immersive simulation. A virtual reality entertainment universe created by James Holliday and Augen Morrow as Morrow of Gregarious Games, and you can buy a suit that would mimic every feeling that touches your VR avatar. Neat. Okay. Do 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 do. A common substitute. Though a sub-market currency of elixir of what is the oh wait, is nectar. I'm not gonna go with nectar. That's too basic. Divine drink. Oh, ambrosia was the food or drink of the Greek gods. Okay, so I will call it ambrosia. Wunderbar. A sub-market currency of ambrosia. The elixir used by all to allow for far higher levels of function is also used commonly as a currency within the Dominion. And there we go. Spelling suggestions. Huh? Hang on. Alright, I'm gonna check with Google before I add it. Submarket. Nope, that is a word. Some have it hyphenated, but a lot don't, so it is a word. So I will call that an ad. Spelling ad word. Submarket. So that sounds kind of like almost like the Matrix in a way, except I guess people are conscious of it. You know, it's not like an involuntary thing. And since they're using a suit, it's not a Neuralink, which would also be great. As well. I like that they've made like pods now that allow you to move fully. That's really cool. It took them honestly a while to bring them out. Like the idea that they went with was something I kind of thought of in its principle when I was like pre-high school. Obviously, this was more elaborate and fleshed out a lot of the issues mine would have had. I'm not saying that, oh, genius. No, not at all. It's just they went with the smart approach where keeping it simple, keeping it effective, and they found a way to make it, and it's still not even remotely cheap, their setup. So it's just kind of odd that it took so long to be put out. I guess maybe because the market was still pretty niche, so there wasn't enough expected profit, particularly for people to spend the money to get the thing. Like, even though I think it's a really cool setup, I don't have the money to just drop on it. Not unless I was like working full time. Nor do I have like the space to set it up properly, unfortunately. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Sorry, I'm rambling again. A function that is also commonly used as currency within the Dominion. Right. Do. In fact, it is Ambrosia that allowed culture of Aeteria to thrive under the dystopian like conditions it would come to know. Despite let's make a new paragraph for that, I suppose. No, that's not a lot. Let's just keep it in this paragraph. Utilizing a dose of ambrosia provides its user with a... Oh. I will be taking a quick break for the ad. Be back in 2.5 minutes. Because I'm going to go stretch. Okay. All right. I am back. Let's get these wires under control. There we go. Scooch in. All right, ad break is over. We are returned. And welcome in to Nevermore. I am having a good one, I would say. Do, 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 do. With mental clarity, energy, mild euphoria, mana regulation, as well as chemical chemical regulation for their bodies. Upon wearing off, it will leave its user prepared, user ready for a deep and restful sleep that facilitates rapid recovery of even the most grueling of days. And Shift Alt F. Nope, Shift Alt F. Thank you. Alright, there we go. Good, thank you. Hope you're having a good one too. I am, I would say. It has been a bit of a weird week. The depresso cycle hasn't really been all that pleasant. But I am doing good today, I would say. And I am feeling like going for as long as I can on the stream. I am sorry that your sleep schedule is off, and Justin, you have an amazing night. I hope that things keep going great for you, man. And it is Aeteria, not Aeternia. So let's correct that. Okay. As a new viewer, Nevermore, I can trust in your unbiased opinion. I am curious. What do you think of it being done in VSC? Hopefully it is as... Hopefully there really isn't too much of a change in impression, I would say. That's my hope, anyway, compared to people doing it in a web doc. If anything, I hope it comes off as a bit more cool. I want to be able to explain how each little code aspect comes into play, and I think that's pretty cool, just because I think coding is cool. But yeah, no, like, I am curious. I am always happy to get feedback, and all of that. I've been on the platform for a while, but I am still a novice hobbyist streamer that really barely knows what they're doing. Most grueling of days. Common use of ambrosia led to it being natural for considered natural to work a minimum of 6 12-hour shifts a week. Most would, in fact, work 16-hour shifts, or 7 on, or choose to have a day off every 10 days instead of 7. Production levels and financial recompensation from this not only left few within the Dominion capable of poverty, but facilitated their expansionistic and exploitative approach to interstellar colonization. And spelling suggestions, expansionistic. Oh, I added an expansionists. Is that not a word? Hang on, I need to check something. Expansionistic. Nope, it is a word. Well, that is not incorrect, so I will add it to the... and then shift on. There we go. All right. Hello, Vizzy. Welcome in. Vizzy, before you're lurking and gathering fully, I am curious what you think of the VSC approach, particularly as a fellow content creator. Well, you might notice this isn't Google Docs. This is a coding language platform, VS Code, and I am writing it in an HTML file. I am curious what you think of it, or if you have an opinion. Yes, notice these P's. Those are short for paragraphs. They are something done. And if I wanted to, I'm not going to open my terminal because unfortunately I could not get my file lines to change under my user, even though I went to Microsoft to change it. It would not update on my computer. So I would risk doxing myself initial-wise if I went to my terminal through the file chain. And I'm not going to do that. So I could go to my terminal, however, and open up the CSS file that accompanies this one and, you know, reference style sheet, change all this text on the web page it would be put on to say like Merriweather or whatever. It would be very easy to slot into a website. All you have to do is basically establish the website with this as its base. Right now, if I was to do a live server test example, what it would do is do like this, but it would all be unformatted. So it'd be like your 2000s text web page type stuff, and it would just be this paragraph, no P, this paragraph, no P, all in black. And then it would just be like, you know, slot in. So it would just be the web page title would be Aeteria under threat, and then you'd open the web page and it would be theme, plot, world building, universe structure, magic, etc. So it would look kind of like shit at this point because there's no CSS to style it. But once this is done, particularly as I'm adding like, you know, because these are all like general things, I don't feel the need to put classes on every paragraph. I have P classes for like sectioners. So title to, technically there is something that automatically does that. It's the header tag, hang on, let me bring down H, and you can see it has several tiers, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the way that renders on a computer is it actually has allocated font sizes. And I don't want that to be approached. I want it to be specifically locational ties to it. So rather than using the H1s through 6 or the header groupings, I am putting it all under paragraphs, and I am assigning classes to those paragraphs if they are like sectional. So title 2, title 3, title 4. So we've got for example, under species, we have our first title 3, which is like the next tier down for specificity. Species has humans, going way down. 3 Kuthians, Voidborn, and the symbiotes are like the species that are in place right now. And then title 4s are the next tier underneath it, where you've got society, military, science, main characters, sectioned for each of them, as you can see in its structure. So yeah, like that's... I decided, because I'm trying to stream both my writing and my coding, that I really should just, like, where possible, combine them. So yeah, right now I'm doing my writing in VS Code. It's entirely local, so it can't be found online. I don't have to worry about Google potentially like using it for AI pooling. It's all on my local computer. That does mean I have to be more concerned about establishing backups, unfortunately, but you know, you make do with what you have. And it just gets me more and more familiar with putting things like comments, which are like notes for myself. For example, when I was doing this, I put like, okay, comment, which is, hang on, I'll once again go down. Comment is bracket up dash dash, and then a close bracket because VS Code autofills for you, which is a super handy feature it does. You open it with the left bracket explanation dash dash, and you close it with a dash dash closing bracket. And then everything you put in here is, this is a comment example. None of this would show up on the web page at all. It is purely something you see in your file in VS Code, for your own use. In fact, one of the things I want to get around to for my coding is find Lua files, where the files are like VS Code files like this in its language, like for example a JavaScript file where it has like all of its if else's, for, etc., because there are files out there on Stack Overflow and etc., particularly like educationally based files, where these comments are used to explain the process you are doing. It's almost like a textbook for coders in its file. So it would be like, comment, I am going to make a for else to do blah that would be comprised of blah. And then it starts working through it. In between them is blah does this because of that, etc. And none of it runs or interferes with the code because it's encapsulated by a comment tag. And not only is that helpful for teaching people, it's also helpful for working in the profession, because while you're not going to be using it educationally, the regular use of comments in your code makes it so that when you're working on a team and you're sending over your part of the code, your assignment, the other person who may not be as familiar with you, skill levels vary by person to person, can go, okay, so this is what you're doing, this is how, etc., etc. And it just reinforces the stuff that's like already there with like GitHub, where your commits have the record of changes. So like, oh, hey, we changed something and now nothing fucking works. And you can just go back your git commit, find the addition that did work, look where it was, and like find the syntax error or whatever, right? So yeah, that's that. Society. Okay, let's go into the next paragraph. Professions and trades, as we know them, are all under the regulation of guilds and let's see, their respective councils. Each position is tied around a goal of around a key function of the trade and those that comprise it. It is law that all guild councils must have an equal amount of positions within the council between to represent the interest of workers and industry of the industry and the workers that comprise it. This was done in the interest of reducing the need for unions and speeding up the time of deliberation when it came to any changes in guild structure. Tiebreakers. If a decision wound up as a tie, it was resolved via wow, my brain is drawing a blank. That is not helpful at the moment. If the council reached a deadlock, a outside mediator would be provided by local governance to decide for the guild. As this was not liked, as this was not generally liked, deadlocks proved rare. All right. And spelling suggestions, deliberations. So, Vizzy, do you have Helldivers? Do, 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 do. Also, Vizzy, I'm curious, like, what would you think would make a good thumbnail? Like a channel thumbnail. Something to use. Because, well, I would love to get to the point eventually of, like, making a thumbnail for each video, like, properly. I am well aware that if I don't have the spoons to properly, like, go through and chapter my bloody videos, I don't have the spoons to make a thumbnail for each of them. So right now, I'm just aiming to make a channel thumbnail. Right now, I'm leaning towards, like, my logo is a centerpiece and something kind of either like lounges or like a galactic as the backdrop. Maybe even something like my Be Right Back. But I'm not sure that that would really work well. Because, you know, obviously it's a video. And even if I pause it at a good moment, I'm not sure that a screenshot would really do it justice. But maybe something along that lines with like a golden aspect of it, where instead of the Be Right Back, it has the, like, you know, ruined logo there. I don't know. Something like that. Maybe. Trying to think up of it, because I don't want my I really don't want my videos to just be like snippets of my live stream bit for its thumbnail. I feel like that's pretty low quality, and that does rub me wrong. I want a proper channel thumbnail to work with. But I haven't really decided on what I want to do. Okay, let's see. It's been an hour and a half. I normally stop here, but I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm just going to keep going. This is not generally linked. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So, Aeteria structure breakdown could generally be described as such. And then let's try for an unordered list. UL li the High Lord of the Dominion. Okay. Ah. System governor. Lord Governor. In charge of a galactic system. It's governor. Governor. I planetary governor. That one's self-explanatory. Regional Lord. In charge of a territory, continent, planetary region. I petty lord. Um, Lord aspirant. No. Yeah, actually, let's keep that up. Lord aspirant. No. Petty Lord. Regional Lord. Governor. State slash minor region leader. Each. There are 5 states to a territory. Okay. Ally. Lord aspirants. A attendant to a regional lord. I'll just put that as state lord. State lord. An aspirant to a state lord. Yeah, let's do that. A vice lord to a state lord being taught as to the role and duties of the position. The final requirement needed before it's able to challenge for the position of Lord. And welcome back, Kid Ozzy. How you doing? Guilds operate on a similar structure expanded by the region of their trade and operation, with positions tailored to the representatives of each level of councilship and role within. Spelling suggestions. Counselorship, consulship, consulaship, representatives, role within, yay. And do. Prior to this, I will put down dash. Do not forget to make official names and titles for the roles within guilds and their regional spans. Moving on. I am assuming that you were doing some from the depths. How is it going? My brain is starting to get a little bit fuzzy, so I'm probably going to end soon. But I've got maybe another 10 minutes in me. Let's see how long I can go. The guilds operate on a similar structure, yada yada yada. Do. In this manner, all the government is purely responsible for the administrative tasks surrounding public safety, taxes, military, education, where guilds work on the administrative burdens of trade, good logistics, and craftsmanship. And public skills. While the government does oversee guilds and has the authority to, has, and uses their right to do regular surprise inspections that ensure the laws of the Dominion held. The work of this task is done by the guild and maintains a sense of public representation and power, separate from the government, but unable to overthrow it with the government's absolute authority over the military. Yay. Spelling suggestions, administrative. Okay. Administrative. Surprise. Huh? Separate. Is it A? Separate? It is A. Separate. Huh. Alright. Yeah, no, my brain is starting to feel a little fried. I'm gonna... because it's not been a great week all the same. So I'm gonna call it here so I can have a little bit left to hopefully make that thumbnail today. And let's start looking for someone to raid. Before I forget, I will do raid message. Copy it for myself. Excuse me. And we will look for someone to raid today. Let's see. Oh, someone is live. They are probably... They aren't doing a writing stream, but I am familiar with them and they are a relatively chill streamer. I think it should be good. So we will raid a new friend of the channel, Ebissa, and let's see how they are doing. As I queue this up, everyone, thank you so very much for tuning in. I'm always appreciative of it. If you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe. I don't really care about the channel's growth, but I do want to see more people be able to visit it, and the algorithm must be appeased. If you would be so kind. I'd much prefer to see you in the comments, though, where I can reply and chat back. I read every comment. So, everyone, you have an amazing day, and please, stay awesome. Peace out.